Now sometimes the fender is even bigger. So I'm thinking back into the late 30s and the 1940s, where you had big Chrysler Imperials and 1946 Fords, where you have a fender that literally starts here, runs almost 6 feet up into the middle of the radiator, and can have a 2-foot crown on it. So you've got a ½ an acre of fender to cover there. And I wanted a model that would adequately cover those fenders also. And so this is my biggest model here, which is the RLB-DDW model. So DD means double deep, and the W is for wider. So it's 2 feet deeper than the small one, a foot deeper than the medium-sized one, and it's also a foot wider than any of them. So instead of about 44 inches wide, from here to here, I'm running closer to 54 inches in length. So this is the biggest cover that I currently make. And this is for situations where you have really large fenders. So I don't have a vehicle here like that again that I can put this on today. So I'm just going to mock it up here as best that I can so that you can get a visual in terms of how much coverage it provides. So if I've got a fender that starts here and runs all the way up in here to the radiator and then comes around this way, you can get an awful lot of coverage with this big cover. So it's I think about 54 inches long, and I can't remember just how deep that is there, but you can see how low that hangs. So you can have almost 1.5 feet of fender crown here and still come and catch the rest of the fender going down here, and you can catch painted area this side of the wheel and painted area this side of the wheel. On a 55 Chevy, you can run right from the glass right off the end of the headlight. If you're doing the old 46 Fords and some of them back into the 1930s, then you just get real nice coverage all the way along. And again, you've got magnets for metallic fenders, you've got the hooks for non-metallic fenders, and then you've also got the loops out here on the end in case you need to. You can tie on and secure it in various different places, because sometimes you have oddball shaped fenders. The fender cover may have to come down and then up over the swell of a fender crown and then go down again. And if you're ordering specifically from me and you have a specific car in mind and you know that you've got a situation where you first have to come down and then fight gravity coming up and then going down again, I can actually add some of these loops down here so that you could use those loops to tie it on in various different places also. I just have to know that when you're calling to order. And fendercovers.com is the website. I have some pictures on there where these larger sized covers are fitted onto some old plastic style vehicles. So that's Fender Covers, plural, with an S on the end of covers, www.fendercovers.com. So you can take a look there and look at some of the pictures that I have. Now this model is also big enough that it will cover across the front for vehicles where you have that painted strip or that painted valance that ran across the front. Some of the Camaros had that, the Z28s, some of the Pontiacs, some of the Shelby Mustangs, and you also want to protect that because you're running air hoses across there, or if you've got to work across the radiator, you've got an area up here just like this, all painted again. So this big cover can then be taken and popped right across the front end here and cover that valance off right in between the fender, edges of the fender, right across the whole front. So people are working on like older vehicles, some of the Mustangs or the Pontiacs, the Camaros. They will take 2 of the medium-sized fender covers, the RLB-D, put 1 on each fender, and use this big one right across the front. Or if your fenders are a little bit wider and longer, and some of the old Dodge Super Bs or whatever, they just take 3 big ones, they go 1 each fender, 1 across the front, and you're ready to go to work. And you don't have to worry about any damage while you're working over the fenders or across the front on a $20,000 paint job. And again, they're all simple to take off and store and clean. And they'll work on your fenders, never cause any damage, and just prevent damage. They won't block anything that you're working on inside, and they'll just be a trusted tool for you for as long as you're going to use them.